Former CEO of Abercrombie Fitch Mike Jeffries has been accused of exploiting young men for sex at events that he and his partner hosted. News.com has learned that these alleged incidents took place in the US and around the world and came to light after 8 men who attended these events between 2009 and 2015 told their stories. The men claimed that they were sexually auditioned by a middleman, who was hired by Jeffries himself. According to the men, the middleman requested or offered to perform oral sex on them before they were introduced to Jeffries and his partner, Matthew Smith. The men described the middleman they met as missing part of his nose, which he covered with a snakeskin patch. The BBC has identified this man as James Jacobson. Some of the men also alleged that the possibility of modeling contracts with NF was raised before they got to meet the brand boss and his partner. During the actual events, Jeffries and Smith engaged in sexual activity with up to 4 men and directed their alleged victims to have sex with each other, according to BBC. Afterward, the men received envelopes filled with thousands of dollars in cash, and all but one of the men said they felt harmed by the experience. The former model Barrett Paul, one of the young men who attended these events, described his experience as dehumanizing. David Bradbury, another one of the men interviewed, said that Jacobson suggested he let him perform oral sex on him in order to meet with NF and Jeffries. Bradbury claims he felt paralyzed by the situation, feeling as though fame was being offered to him in exchange for compliance. As a result of these alleged crimes, 2 former U.S. prosecutors, Brad Edwards and Elizabeth Geddes, have called for an investigation into the allegations to determine whether charges for sex trafficking should be brought. After a preliminary review of these claims presented to them by the BBC, Geddes noted, "There's certainly an argument that these young men were subjected to potential coercion. I think there are grounds for a prosecutor to open an investigation and look closely at this conduct to determine if a criminal prosecution is warranted." Edwards also weighed in on the matter and said, "There may have been evidence of coercion for some of the men, whereas others might not have felt the coercive tactics. Remember, coercion is a reasonable belief that serious harm will be inflicted, and serious harm could be reputational harm, financial harm, physical harm, per the BBC." Jacobson has since denied the allegations, stating through his lawyer that he would never engage in coercive, deceptive, or forceful behavior. He also notes that he does not recall making promises of modeling opportunities either. Jeffries and Smith have not responded to requests for comment on the allegations, but NF, which considers Jeffries its modern-day founder, has expressed its disgust at the alleged behavior. The company, under new leadership, claims to have transformed into a values-driven organization with zero tolerance for abuse, harassment, or discrimination.